Hi, my name is Beat Nussbaumer. I'm the founder and CEO of MacroBeat. And I just thought it's this time of the year where I like to invite people again to have a look at behind the sort of paywall and see what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and also quickly introduce myself. And then later in the second part, we see what I'm doing as well as how I can help you potentially in the short term or in the long term as well. As I said, my name is Beat Nussbaumer. I've been in as an institutional trader for the last 40 years, having worked for the biggest bank in the street, Morgan Stanley, UBS, Goldman Sachs, etc. And I have founded MacroBeat around in 2018. My sort of wish to try to give something back to an industry that treated me very well. I run some chat rooms, I do education, but also I'm managing money for high net worth individuals. So I'm still trading even to this day and do the other things on the side because I just enjoy it. Like I said, the one part of what I do is the chat rooms. So I have chat rooms with active members that mostly are former students, but also professionals, friends from my past career, be it banks, be the hedge funds. So I have a sort of wide community in that sense. To give you a little bit of a better idea, I just quickly share screen so you can see how this looks. I run the chat rooms on something that is the Slack platform. I have various channels in there. A chart pack. This is where I send out all the charts on the dollar pairs, emerging markets, crosses, precious metal, and so on and so forth. That starts like at 6 a.m. In the morning and at 6 p.m. in the evening. So it's a real trading floor type situation. That is a community chat where we all talk to each other, which obviously I can't show given there are names visible in there. Here we have the geopolitical channel, obviously very important to see what's going on in Iran and the sort of things. That has obviously only been sort of introduced now is the fresh war in Iran. Usually we mix it into the macro, but obviously there's so much news on the geopolitical side that I really wanted to separate the macro side, which we find in the news bites. In between here, hit and run micro, this is my short-term trading, which I show what I'm doing. It's not a signal service per se. I know that people sometimes may use it as that, but it's really not. It's more to do with it's sort of the second leg of education. If people ask me what I'm doing, I always would describe it as tradable macro, meaning we take the story, we take a view with it, we take a risk with it, and we also you can then see how these kind of risks are managed against the actual day-to-day life things that's happening out there. Macro risk is more obviously the as the name says, that's risk I have for the broader views. Most of my trading is based around the macro story, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. Here's just a news channel. This is really the macro channel, the sort of news that happens all day long. We also do some research at times. Have something that is called the small dose of macro, which I share some macro charts, macro story all day long. Back to the charts, maybe briefly. Part of my trading obviously has to do, yeah, I love charts and I actually think I'm not too bad at charting, but the idea is really about using charts in a sort of smart way. There's always the big conflict or discussion out there, what are charts? The chartists I know they would say macro doesn't matter, which obviously I think I would completely disagree. While there are macro guys that say charts don't matter, which I also disagree, because I think if you manage to marry the two, I think charts are a very good way of managing risk in the sense of creating entry points, creating exit points, be that on a take profit side or on a stop loss side. I've really used this now for a very long time, and I think this marriage, be it in short-term trading or in macro trading, in everything there's a level where you're just wrong, full stop, or the market just doesn't care or disagrees with your views. And so there's a way of managing your risk so much so that you may lose a battle, but you may not have lost the war if you use that sort of phrase. So in a way, what I'm doing, so you see the chat room. The chat room actually I built originally as a sort of combination to the tutoring or the education I do. So people can actually rediscover things that we talk about in the lessons, see it actually live happening. And I think this is a very powerful tool to sort of combine theory and the actual practice out there as it's going on. But at the same time, the chat room morphed into what actually I would describe as a live trading room. And given I've worked in the biggest banks, I'm always told that this sort of chat room is probably among the better things you can get out there, because we really talk about all day long about what it means, what we do with it, and so on and so forth. There's no sort of, so the economist angle is really just aimed at the sort of trading solution. I think this is where probably this service is different from a few of the others. We all know the macro stuff, we all love it, we all read it, but at the end of the day, we need to make money. And this is really a trading floor that is actually doing this. Now, like I said, in spring, I always let people have maybe a glance into the sort of chat room. So happy to give people a 1 week free trial. Just drop me an email, beat@macrobeat.co.uk. You see on the website as well, you can hit a 1 week free trial. There's no credit card, nothing needed. It's really just the knowledge that, hey, this is not a signal service, so I'm not going to trade your risk, you're going to trade your own risk. Or if you were to take courses, you learn how to trade your own risk. But it just gives you a bit of an idea, especially for those that sort of thinking about going the route that want to be full-time trader one day, to see what you're up against, to actually fully understand what you have to know. I'm not against self-study. I would be the first one to admit that. But I would also say, look at it like, if you want to learn to play the piano, if you try to learn it yourself, yeah, you can get to a certain level, but you're never going to play a concert hall. If you want to become a tennis player, you need a coach. You're never going to make it on your own. So it's this kind of, the self-study for me starts when you start to actually know what you should be studying. The risk in self-study before that is that you actually focus on a lot of things that may actually not truly matter for the day-to-day trading, or even for the macro trading, so be it. It's also about realism. This is a journey. It's not, you do a bit of a course and you're going to be a rock star, but you're not going to be a rock star. This is what you saw with what I shared before with Slack. I have people in there that have been with me for 5, 6, 7 years. They started off doing the course, they started to become better at trading, and now they obviously morphed into market participants. So we chat about the market together. They may no longer be students. I'm still obviously always in the wings as a mentor, because you can't simulate everything that happens in market at all times, because certain things just only happen every few years or any other year. So there's always something new for most people. Long story short, this is MacroBeat. This is what I do. I run chat rooms, I run education, I run my own trading. If you are, getting curious about just looking beyond, looking over the fence and see how I do things, or if there's things you can learn, you can be in the free trial for a week, see if that suits. Maybe that also encourages you maybe to go the next step, in a sense of trying to maybe learn something additional. We can always talk about. I have 3-day courses for more advanced retail traders. I have 5-day courses for beginners. I can sort of tailor a program. I have some professionals as well that just want to have certain segments of the market which I want to learn. So it's really up to you what you need, what you willing to put in, and that's it. The only thing I would ask is those people that want to have a 1 week free trial, really be serious about it. Think about it before, if you want it. It's quite a bit of work involved at times to run these things. I'm more than delighted to help people that are really, want to do this and want to learn. Like I said, it's not a signal service, so those who just look for the next trade don't actually need to sign up. This is a lot more. This is about understanding how we structure a trade, how we do a trade, rather than just, micro trading. So I'm really looking forward to see some of you that like this story and like to have a look at. And I wish you all the very best. And I hope I see you soon in my Slack channel. Thank you. All the best. Thank you.